Joe Biden faces a tough choice, everyone. A really tough choice on whether to impose a national lockdown over a virus with a 99+% survival rate. A choice that could annihilate the economy even more than it already has been. Really tough choice for him to make, but then again, not really, as it won't affect him at all. It's not going to affect his pocketbook. He'll still have a job. He'll still be able to be paid huge sums of money for speaking engagements. No, it will actually affect everyone but him and the political class. It's you and me and the small and medium-sized businesses that this will destroy, if they haven't been destroyed already. Many of them already actually have been. This is abject insanity. You have a virus that has an extraordinarily high survival rate, and for purely political reasons, you've got Joe Biden already listening to people who are advocating for a 4 to 6 week national lockdown. These are the same people who I have lost count on how many times they've been wrong about nearly everything. Masks, social distancing, the death rate and the death count, how the virus is going to spread, whether hospitals will be overrun or not. And not for nothing, they also failed miserably to ever account for the obvious undesirable consequences of lockdowns. The destroyed businesses, the livelihoods that have evaporated, the jobs that have been destroyed, the massive spikes in suicide, alcoholism, drug abuse, spousal abuse, mental anguish, not being able to see loved ones on their deathbed, children going hungry, not being able to go to people's funerals, an unprecedented number of food insecure people in the U.S. As I said, many of them are children. They've failed to take any of this into account, even though people have been screaming it since the beginning of this that the solution will be far worse than the problem, which seems to frequently be the case when it comes to government response to any problem. And 4 to 6 weeks, I would be surprised if they institute a national lockdown and that ends up how long it will actually be. I'd be willing to bet once we hit the 6-week mark, they're going to say, we just need a little bit longer, let's do an even 2 months, and then, let's make it 3 months, that's just one season, and then maybe they'll lift the lockdown. And by that time, the economy will have flatlined. People won't have food, won't have jobs, production is dead, won't be able to find any goods you may need. It'll be a hellhole, and again, all over a virus with a 99+% survival rate, a virus with a small death rate, and even that death rate is overinflated with a very liberal definition of, quote, death by COVID, and an overall death rate outside of COVID that increased substantially, and that was caused by abject hysteria, scaring people away from hospitals, people who otherwise needed to go, which is yet another unintended consequence that is completely ignored by the people who are still promoting this abject hysteria and paranoia. So this is what we're going to get with a Joe Biden presidency. Not very surprising. And not that Trump was my favorite by any means, but I feel like with Joe Biden, we may just see the worst ideas, opinions, and suggestions that you see on Twitter or Facebook. We will actually see those implemented now. And it's not going to end well. And I don't want us to have to tell people we told them so, but I fear that's going to have to happen. Maybe, at best, they save a few lives specifically from COVID, but here's a far larger group of people that died from other things because they didn't go to the hospital over the abject hysteria that people have created. And here's millions and millions of malnourished kids thanks to your delirium. And again, none of this affects Joe Biden. This sentiment is absurd. He is a part of the political elite. If there ever was a group of people that were shielded and insulated from their own terrible decisions, it would be them. But not us. So we're going to have to live to love that, I guess. But that's all for now. Like and subscribe, and take it easy.